Long ago, in a land where mountains scraped the heavens and rivers shimmered with magic, there existed a realm called Eldoria. Eldoria was no ordinary kingdom. It was a land of wonders, where dragons soared through the skies, and the earth itself hummed with ancient spells. But at the heart of this enchanted realm was the Crystal of Eldoria, a powerful artifact said to contain the essence of all magic. Whoever possessed the crystal controlled not only the kingdom, but the balance of all things magical. For centuries, the crystal was guarded by the royal family, passed down from one generation to the next. It was not just a symbol of power, but of peace. However, the peace would not last forever. One fateful night, a shadow crept across the kingdom. A sorcerer, banished long ago for his greed and lust for power, returned. His name was Malgar, and his heart was as dark as the abyss. With his army, he stormed the castle, his eyes fixed on the crystal.
At last, the power of Eldoria shall be mine.
But the royal family, knowing they were no match for Malgar's dark magic, made a desperate choice. They entrusted the crystal to their youngest daughter, Princess Lyra. Only 17, Lyra had lived a sheltered life within the palace walls. But now, the fate of the entire kingdom rested in her hands. Her parents' last words to her echoed in her mind.
Go, Lyra. Take the crystal far from here. Protect it at all costs. Eldoria's future depends on you.
With tears in her eyes, Lyra fled into the night, clutching the crystal. She did not know where she was going, only that she needed to keep the crystal away from Malgar. The kingdom was in chaos, and hope seemed distant. Days passed, and Lyra wandered deep into the forgotten forest, a place of mystery and danger. Few dared to enter its depths. It was here, lost and exhausted, that Lyra stumbled upon an old, weathered cottage. There she met an elderly woman, her eyes filled with wisdom and warmth.
You are not just running, child. You are seeking. Come inside. There is something you must learn.
The woman was no ordinary elder, but an ancient seer who had once served the kings of Eldoria. She revealed to Lyra that the crystal was not simply an object of power, but a living force, tied to the very soul of the kingdom. And to unlock its true potential, Lyra would need more than courage. She would need to understand its magic, to form a bond with the crystal itself. For days, Lyra trained under the seer's guidance, learning the art of combat and the ways of magic. She practiced with a sword in hand and the crystal at her side, mastering swift movements and powerful strikes. Slowly, the crystal revealed its magic to her. With each passing day, Lyra's strength grew, and she learned to fight not just with skill, but with the ancient magic of Eldoria itself. But time was running out. Malgar's forces had tracked her to the forest, and soon, a great battle would begin. Lyra knew she could not hide any longer. And so the battle began. Lyra stood at the center, the crystal pulsing with energy. She raised it high, and for the first time, the full power of Eldoria surged through her.
You cannot stop me, child. The crystal belongs to me.
But Lyra, no longer afraid, stepped forward.
The crystal belongs to Eldoria. It belongs to the people, not to a tyrant like you.
With one final burst of energy, the crystal unleashed its full potential, enveloping Malgar in a brilliant light. His dark magic was no match for the purity of the crystal's power. Slowly, his form dissolved and shadow covered the Eldoria disappear. The battle was over, but the story did not end there. Lyra returned to the castle, not as a princess fleeing in fear, but as a queen who had saved her kingdom. She placed the crystal back upon the throne, not to wield its power, but to safeguard it for future generations, and so, the crystal of Eldoria continues to glow, a beacon of hope. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where the flowers glowed in the moonlight and the trees sang lullabies, lived a fairy named Crystal. Crystal was unlike any other fairy. Her delicate wings sparkled like diamonds, and she was known for her kindness and wisdom. She had a special bond with the forest, and it was said that her wings were the source of much of the forest's magic. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle, Crystal decided to visit the moonlit lake, a place where she often went to reflect and recharge her magical powers.
The moonlit lake always feels so peaceful. I can feel the magic flowing through me.
But that night, something was different. As Crystal hovered above the lake, a sudden gust of wind swept through the forest. It was not an ordinary wind. It was filled with dark magic. Before Crystal could react, the wind caught her wings and tore them away, leaving her to fall gently. Crystal looked around in shock as her beautiful wings drifted away, carried by the wind toward the dark woods, a place no fairy dared to enter.
My wings. Without them, the forest will lose its magic, and I can't fly without them.
Determined to retrieve her wings and restore the magic of the forest, Crystal set off on foot toward the dark woods. The journey was long and treacherous, but she was not alone. Along the way, she was joined by her loyal friends, a wise old parrot named Oliver and a brave squirrel named Pippin.
The dark woods are full of dangers, Crystal, but together, we can face anything.
As they ventured deeper into the dark woods, the trees grew taller and the shadows longer. The air was thick with the scent of danger, but Crystal's determination never wavered. Finally, they reached the heart of the dark woods, where a twisted, gnarled tree stood. In its branches, Crystal's wings were trapped, glowing faintly in the darkness. But the wings were guarded by a fearsome creature, the Shadow Beast, a monster made of pure darkness that fed on the magic of the forest.
The wings belong to me now. With them, I will control all the magic of the enchanted forest.
Knowing that a direct attack might not be enough, Crystal drew upon the deep connection she had with the forest. She closed her eyes and let her heart fill with the memories of every joyful moment she had spent with her friends, every time the forest had blossomed under her care. As she focused, the glow of her heart began to spread, creating a protective aura of light around her. This light was no ordinary magic. It was the magic of love, hope, and unity. The Shadow Beast recoiled, its darkness flickering in the presence of such pure energy.
You cannot take what was never yours. This forest, its magic, and my wings belong to the light.
With a burst of determination, Crystal unleashed her light. The light engulfed the Shadow Beast, who roared in defiance, trying to resist. But the darkness could not withstand the warmth of Crystal's heart. Slowly, the Shadow Beast began to dissolve. The tree that had held her wings captive blossomed, flowers sprouting from its once gnarled branches. As Crystal's wings reattached themselves, sparkling more brightly than ever, the dark woods transformed around them.
The forest is safe again, thanks to the light we all carry within us.
With her wings restored, Crystal flew back to the enchanted forest, and the forest rejoiced at her return. Farmer John trudged reluctantly to his fields one day. Despite the scorching summer sun, his crops remained stubbornly absent. Frustrated, he muttered,
"My fields are still barren. What will I do if I can't provide crops for the kingdom? I'm in trouble."
Just when Arun was about to give up on his unproductive fields, his shovel struck something solid. "What's this?" he wondered. Digging further, he uncovered an old pot buried in the dirt.
"What's this pot doing here?"
The pot was empty, and he felt disheartened by the wasted effort. He placed his shovel inside the pot and rested under a nearby tree. After a while, when he woke up, he was astonished to find not just one, but 100 shovels inside the pot.
"How is this possible? I only had one shovel."
John emptied the pot of shovels and decided to try putting his rake in it instead. To his amazement, another 100 rakes appeared in the pot. Could this pot be magical? John wondered, thrilled and astounded. He quickly carried the pot back to his home. Excitedly, he placed a single egg into the pot and waited. Soon, the pot was overflowing with eggs. Incredible, he marveled. He then tried putting an apple and some bread into the pot, and it produced hundreds of apples and loaves of bread.
I don't need to worry about my barren fields anymore. I can sell these multiplied products at the kingdom market.
Whatever he put into the pot, it multiplied. Each day, John took those and selling various items. Clothes one day, vegetables the next, and beans on another. Envious of his success, other vendors complained about John to a royal guard. The next day, the guard secretly followed him. John placed a chick inside it. Moments later, hundreds of chicks emerged from the pot. The guard was astonished to see hundreds of chicks running around John's house. One chick accidentally fell into the pot, producing another 100 chicks. There were chicks everywhere, on John's head, under his chair, and even in his food. The guard hurried to inform the king. The king, intrigued and concerned, ordered that John and his magic pot be brought before him. John stood before the king, who confiscated the pot for the royal treasury. John was dismayed at losing his magical treasure.
I'll examine this enchanted pot that could increase my wealth.
As king approached the pot, John warned, "My king, be careful," but the king, too eager, slipped and fell into the pot. In no time, 100 identical kings appeared in the hall. The soldiers were bewildered and confused about whom to follow. The kings argued fiercely, each insisting they were the true ruler. "I am the true king," one declared. "No, it's me, the real king," another argued. "No, I am the real king," yet another claimed. Seeing the chaos and danger the magic pot could cause, John took advantage of the confusion and quietly left the palace with the pot. He went to a cliff and threw the pot off, watching it shatter into pieces. From that day forward, John's fields began to thrive with crops again. He learned that the land became fertile through hard work, not magic.